Hello and welcome to TK24 Sports. Coming up on today's show, I'm going to do something that is very, very bold and maybe could be a bit careless. But I'm going to try and predict where these teams are going to finish by the end of the season. Not by, I'll say, who's going to get relegated and so forth, but just in this blocks of 5. Of course, there's 20 teams in the Premier League, so I can only do it in 4 slots in a block of 5. Are we ready for this? Let's go. First batch. Then have Brighton, Newcastle, Sheffield United, Norwich, and Watford in that batch. Now, of course, only 3 out of those 5 could go down and be relegated. Again, I'm not going to be too bold and say who's going to get relegated and who's going to win the Premier League. I'm just going to give you my batch of 5s. Next batch, Villa, Everton, Southampton, Bournemouth, and Palace. Does anyone surprise you there that I put Everton in that next batch? I think it's going to have a torrid time. Again, with the first batch, I think Newcastle are going to have a torrid time, and I think Watford will be in and amongst it. Sheffield United will drop down a few more points. I don't think they have the squad big enough and the right depth to sustain a great run this season, even though I did big them up in the last show. Then, of course, take the next batch, I think Villa are just going to have enough. And Everton, if they keep Marco Silva, if they keep him for the rest of the season, they are going to be in amongst this batch. But then again, if I'm right in what I'm thinking, in his next 3 games, he could be fired. And then they're going to have to bring someone else in and learn that philosophy. So that's why I'm putting him in this batch here for this season. Bournemouth and Palace, even though Bournemouth have had a great start to the season, I think they'll just dip down a little bit. And Palace are what Palace are. No disrespect to them. Next batch after that, I'm going to have Burnley, West Ham, Man United, Leicester, and Wolves. Yes, Wolves are down there at 90th at the moment with 4 points, but they do have a bigger squad. I think they'll get it right. I think once they get, if they can get themselves knocked out of the Carabao Cup, concentrate on the Premier League as well as the Europa League, I think they'll then, start to climb. Their results haven't gone their way. I mean, they've only, the last 6 games, it's been a draw, loss, and a draw. That's their current run of form. But guess what? They play. The next game is against Watford, so that could be a good game. And it is it's going to be a tricky game. So if Wolves can pick up the 3 points there, that'll put them on to 7 points. That'll shift them up, depending on how the other games go. But that's why at this moment in time, I will have Wolves fighting within this top 10 finish. The next 5, if you look at that, within that 5, let's go into the next 5 so quick. If you look at the next 5, I think Burnley are going to be up there. I think they're going to be pretty strong, going for a top 10 finish. Leicester will be in that top 10 finish, and I think United and West Ham will also be in that top 10 finish. I don't think United have the squad or the right depth to mount a top 5 finish, as it were. Forget about the top 4, the top 5 finish. I don't think they have the squad to do that. They can maybe finish 6th, 7th, maybe 8th this season. And then, of course, the last 5, we are going to be having... Again, this is in no order, guys. This is no order. So don't please take this as literal as the order I'm trying to put your team in. Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, Liverpool, Manchester City. Now, I think Chelsea just have a better squad than Manchester United, but I don't think it's as strong as Arsenal, Spurs, of course, definitely not, Liverpool and City. But the reason why I say that, they can maybe do something. They can, Lampard maybe find a run of form of his team, galvanise them a little bit more, make them a bit more compact, but they're playing some great football. So I think they're going to be the wild card or trying to threaten to get into a top 4 finish. I just don't think they will have it. So maybe I've called a top 4 finish by saying it's going to be Arsenal, Spurs, Liverpool, and City. Again, in no particular order of that, because you don't know which one is going to win the league, whether it's going to be Liverpool or City, and you don't know which way it's going to go between Arsenal and Spurs. But I think Chelsea will finish in a top 5 finish, and if they do, that's a fantastic return for them. Again, knowing the fact they couldn't spend any money. Who do I think is going to win the league? I'm not too sure. Who do I think is going to finish in the top 4? Maybe I can make that bold prediction now. I think it's going to be City, Liverpool, Spurs, and Arsenal. Again, in no particular order. Arsenal can finish 3rd, they can finish 2nd, Liverpool can finish, in the top 2. So I don't even know why I even said Arsenal could finish even higher than 3rd. A bit crazy to say that. Or even Spurs themselves. Spurs can get their act together, and Arsenal can get their act together. Then maybe those 2... I think those 2, Arsenal and Spurs, are going to be the ones that could disrupt where the league is going to go between Liverpool and City. And those two can get that act together, then they can make it nearly a 3 to maybe a 4 horse race. But again, that depends what happens in January, and it also happens with Arsenal situation with Emery, whether he stays up until January, or if Arsenal are then forced to make that change. Pochettino, if he can get a few more players in for January, who knows after that? So I don't know what your thoughts are. So I'm going to give you this rundown again. First five for in the bottom will be Brighton, Newcastle, Sheffield United, Norwich, and Watford. Next batch after that, Villa, Everton, Southampton, Bournemouth, Palace. Next batch after that, Burnley, West Ham, Man United, Leicester, and Wolves. Then the next batch, of course, will then be Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, Liverpool, and Manchester City. What's your thoughts? What's your views? Leave your comments below. Hit me up and tell me what your thoughts are. Thank you so much today for watching TK24 Sports, and we'll see you very, very soon.